So yesterday was a crazy day. It was mad. It was mad. Like, the sport of basketball was not talked about once, despite the fact that the reason why we're making these videos is because of a basketball game. And that is, for me, that's always like one of the worst things about it. And it's the worst thing about making some of these videos is that I have to talk about it. There will be a time where it's back to pure basketball, and later on today you're going to be seeing some draft videos, some like mock drafts. You're going to be seeing plenty of basketball stuff later today, but for the minute, basketball is secondary, because the fact that it's the last two games, the fact that there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You can have Becky Hammon say these players just want to compete with Caitlin Clark. No, these players, and I'm not saying all these players, by the way. You can see like Carrington from the Sun, her just playing unbelievable defense. You can see players in this league just going all out and playing harder against Caitlin Clark, wanting to compete with her. And I'm not saying it's on everybody, but in the last two games, the Vivians, after getting a three hit in her face, punching Caitlin Clark, in front of the referees, by the way, in front of the referees. And that's the worst part is that I'm going to blame the referees as much as anyone for this, because the referees are incompetent and they are allowing prison ball happen. I'm going to blame the WNBA as well, because again, after the Seattle Storm game, I did make a video saying that if things don't change, because of how badly Caitlin Clark is being like cheap shotted throughout the games, that she should have been pulled from the Sky game. And then what happens? They don't pull her from the Sky game. She gets cheap shotted multiple times. Like, it is what it is. But with this, it's very clear the players hate her. And I don't know if you can tell, because a lot of things that are normal basketball plays become, like, people don't react. If Kennedy Carter was talking trash to Diana Taurasi, like, Taurasi is one of the biggest trash talkers in WNBA history. If Taurasi is talking trash with Kennedy Carter in the game, Kennedy Carter is not cheap shotting her. If Taurasi hits a three in Vivian's face and says something, Vivian's is not punching Diana Taurasi. If Diana Taurasi drives to the basket, she's not getting or Magbador is not holding onto her and trying to spin her off or into a group of people. If Diana Taurasi's taking a layup and has their arms wrapped, gets her arm wrapped up, and the ref calls a foul on the first step, they're not waiting until Diana Taurasi's about to put the ball up and in the air to shove her onto the ground. Like, that's not going to happen. So you can't just say, oh, Caitlin Clark's starting trash talk, so she's deserves it. Caitlin Clark and Kennedy Carter were chirping at each other the whole game, and that's the truth. Say what you want about it, that is the fact. Just like Caitlin Clark was talking with Vivians. Caitlin Clark is a hooper. And it's just like when she came out to defend Angel Reese during the whole of that incident, that it's like trash talk is part of the game. But why is it that the anti-Caitlin Clark people are completely fine with trash talk when it's somebody trash talking Caitlin, but when she does something back, and then it escalates to, let's be real, a punch in the neck is, if a punch in the neck on the street is assault, what happened with the hit in the back, if it's on the street, is assault. So I don't think it's far-fetched to say that. To do something that would be twice in two games, something that if it happened on the street is considered assault, has happened to her. For what? She hit a three-pointer in someone's face and said something. How many basketball players do that? Like, imagine if Kevin Durant clocked Anthony Edwards after Anthony Edwards talking trash. Would you be defending Kevin Durant? No. You're defending Carter because they hate Caitlin Clark. And it's not just a group of the fans. And you can see it by Kennedy Carter's likes. You can see it by the fact that she has more fans now than ever before. And that is the scariest part, is that the Caitlin Clark or Kennedy Carter has now gained fans. By the way, I would say 95% of people that watch that incident are going to be like, what the hell is she doing? This is ridiculous. But you're even seeing on like news reporters from CBS. And by the way, like, I'm not calling these people sports reporters. Like, I think the anti-Caitlin Clark because she's Caitlin Clark people, and as well as the anti-Angel Reese because the anti-Angel Reese people, they're not supporters. They're rage baiters who pretend to talk about sports. I'll stand by that 100% of the time. These are not sports fans. Like, the likes of Outkick Outkick is not a sport. That's legitimately not. If you look at any article, they do not talk about the sports. Like, they do not talk about actually what's happening. But you know what Kennedy Carter is bad. Like, and then obviously, 5% of people are one side, 5% of people are the other side, with blind hatred towards one side or the other, because they don't actually care about the people. It's just they want their excuse to, they want to have an excuse to show hatred towards a group of people. And unfortunately, they've put Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark's faces on two groups of people that they don't like, and they want to show their hatred towards a group of people by going at those people. There's 5% on each side. The 90% in the middle, the fact that they're agreeing with Outkick just shows that what Kennedy Carter's done isn't wrong. However, Kennedy Carter has now got a whole bunch of new fans. Vivian's has got a whole bunch of new fans. Why? Because they assaulted a player. They assaulted a player they didn't like. This is just like when people don't like Draymond Green and Rudy Gobert puts him in a chokehold and people like it. People are like happy. The difference is that the WNBA is going to do nothing. They're going to do nothing. And it's very clear. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There are a lot of WNBA players that just want to compete with Caitlin Clark. And I cannot stress that enough. But to come out like Becky Hammond has said and that nobody does. No. There is hatred there. Because it's just like, again, Rudy Gobert and Draymond Green hates Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert shoved Klay Thompson. So Draymond Green used that as an excuse to jump on Rudy Gobert's back, put him in a chokehold, and not let go. So you can see what I mean. It's like, if I didn't like a person, like let's just say I didn't like a person on another team, and they, I don't know, hit one of my teammates with a hard foul. And obviously, enforcers are enforcers, whatever. You come in, break it up, make sure they don't do it again. But if I used a hard foul as an excuse to punch somebody, get on top of them, and start laying into them, I'm in the wrong. Like, and that is the escalation. That is the equivalent escalation between trash talk and assault. Like that is the escalation, and that is what has happened 2 games in a row with Caitlin Clark. And you might be saying, "Oh, it's just an off chance, like." And if Caitlin Clark had said anything bad, it would be all over the news. It would be all over the news if she said anything bad. But the fact that I think this is going to keep happening, this is going to keep happening. It's not going to stop. It has happened 2 games in a row. And the fact that the Fever basically brought it up with the league after the Storm game and then happens again, it's going to keep happening because these WNBA players hate her. They hate her. And I'm not saying all of them, by the way. All of them do not hate her. There is a not large majority. There is a large minority. There are a large group of players that cannot stand Caitlin Clark. And the ironic thing is that they actually don't hate Caitlin Clark because she's Caitlin Clark. They hate the media around Caitlin Clark. They hate the idea of Caitlin Clark. They just hate the fact that Caitlin Clark is Caitlin Clark. They don't hate her as a person. They just hate the fact she is Caitlin Clark. And it just means that if Caitlin Clark does one little thing to piss them off, and they see an opening, when they see the trash talk, they know, you know what? People are going to be on our side now. And that's all they have to see. That's all these WNBA players have to see is the support that Kennedy Carter is getting from some crazy people. Just like at the same time, some of the ridiculous stuff that's being said about her and, say, Angel Reese by crazy people on the opposite end. Like, all WNBA players have to see is this and being like, okay, all we have to do is go bait Caitlin Clark into trash talking us, and then it's free reign to assault her because the league won't do anything, the refs won't kick us out, and we're going to gain fans from this. Like, that's actually something that could happen. And you're saying it won't, but you know what? Kennedy Carter is getting a lot more support. As much hate as she's getting, she's gotten more support than she's ever gotten before. And this is someone who basically fought her way out of the league a couple of years ago. She was suspended by her own team for trying to fight her teammate. This isn't some angel. Either way, that's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe.